Okay. That's crazy.
Let me tell you a story. So one day, I was out playing pickleball with some of my friends, and I noticed something kind of weird happening out of the corner of my eye. There was this guy who was juggling. He was juggling like 5 balls at once and doing all these crazy tricks and spins and moves that I didn't even know existed. So I went up to him and struck up a conversation. I learned that juggling had all these really interesting parts about it. There's a ton of history behind it, there's competitions, there's community, and it just made me really curious about the sport of juggling. So we attended a juggling club meetup. If you're just as curious about juggling like I am, you should stick around. So how do you even find a juggling club? I was scrolling reels one day when I found one made by the LA Times. It was about a juggling club in Pasadena, which isn't too far from where I live. I reached out to them on Instagram and they seemed more than happy to have me visit them. So we headed down to one of their weekly meetings to film them in action and also asked them some questions about this really quirky art. How'd you get into juggling?
My dad taught me how to do 3 balls. We kind of learned together. Started going to local clubs up in San Francisco and just practicing a lot. And I just have been into it ever since.
And for me, I got into juggling when I was in college. Part of the appeal, I think, is I grew up skateboarding. And once I learned that, I was like, yeah, I can do it.
When I was in 8th grade, we had a little field day and it was circus themed. So I'm it would be cool to teach my 14-year-old self how to juggle. I took it a step further and then I started coming to this juggling club. And that's when I really started practicing.
Okay, so now you know about how they got into juggling. But did you know that there exists a whole world of competitive juggling?
2 main organizations that do that. The WJF, for them it's more like a gymnastics type thing where there's moves that are worth a certain amount of points and connections, and it's you're very much critiqued on a objective system. People don't consider that necessarily to be the best juggling. It's one style of juggling, and a lot of people are taking the art out of it and making it pure sport. Then the IJA is a stage championship. It's also a competition that's judged, but it's a show as well. And so you could do any number of things. 5 categories are judged on: difficulty, execution, creativity, showmanship, all this stuff. So it's being a performer is part of it too.
That was a little confusing. So let me break it down for you. The WJF uses a points-based system, so certain moves are worth certain points, and if you mess up, you'll lose a point. This leads to a more standardized form of scoring, but it also takes away from a bit of the creativity as well. The second competition, the IJF, is considered a more traditional competition and is judged based on 5 categories: difficulty, creativity, execution, entertainment value, and presentation. This type of scoring makes the competition more subjective, which many juggling purists actually seem to prefer.
I personally consider it more art, but there's sport aspects to it. There's practicing and getting better and making the next milestone, but I think ultimately it's a performance art. Yeah, I mean it's fun. It's it is a competition, but everyone is super friendly. Everyone you want each other to do well. You're friends. You're learning tricks from them. It doesn't feel it doesn't get super chippy like it might in football or something. So yeah.
After learning about competitive juggling, I met Tai, a former breakdancer who was using a kendama, a traditional Japanese skill toy.
What are some things that you tell someone who knew nothing about kendama about the kendama?
I think the one thing that I would say to people who don't know about kendama is the concept of it's mainly hand-eye coordination, but it's more a eye-opening of community sense. So it's something where it's you can use it for passing time. You don't have to be on your phone scrolling, doom scrolling 24/7. With a kendama, oh yeah, you're completely vibing with anybody. If you bring 2 and you bring that to anybody else, they're gonna vibe with you. It's straightforward that way.
I find small communities like these really interesting, and I love meeting the people behind them. Sometimes, maybe all you need in life is a little bit of juggling.